This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
We are The Source, WOCA.
25 minutes before 8 o'clock, 76 degrees here at The Source, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. And there is a 20% chance we'll see rain today, highs in the lower 90s. Not bad. Tomorrow, the rain chances increase to 60%, and that's pretty much the way it is through the rest of the week, including Sunday. So the beginning of next week. So you consider Sunday the first day of the week? Is that in your world? Is it Sunday the first day of the week? Yeah, me too.
That's what I consider.
So Saturday's the last day, and Sunday's the first day.
Yeah. Hardy.
All right. Speaking of the last day, I have the last day of the world story coming up right here. Is it the last day of the world or the last day of the world as we know it? What is it? I've always thought that the world as we know it, when they say it's the end of the world as we know it, maybe that's not such a bad thing, because this world has a lot of problems in it. And,
it does.
And I'm not a Bible scholar, and I paid enough attention in Sunday school, I guess, to know that there's a promise that one day it'll be on earth as it is in heaven, right? So that's kind of the extent of my understanding of this whole thing. So maybe the end of the world as we know it would mean that all the bad stuff would go away and everything would be fixed and we could live without locks on our doors.
Yeah, like we used to.
Without worrying about, disease and people hurting each other and all that. But anyway, so there is a group of people, and I didn't even realize this. I guess I've been in the dark, but there are a group of people who believe that the world will be ending on September 23rd. And I don't mean like some other year, this month. Like 22 days from today. 3 weeks in a day. Wow. Part of this goes to a prophecy by Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton, in addition to being a scientist, was also very much a religious person. In fact, he looked at the Bible as a science book in a way. He interpreted the passage Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. You'll have to look it up, and basically figured out that 49 biblical years plus 360 days or something like that would from June 6, 1967, which is the restoration of Jerusalem during the Six-Day War or whatever that was, will be September 23rd, 2015.
Oh, okay.
All right, and French Foreign Affairs Minister Laurent Fabius, a member of the Bilderberg Group, we've talked about them before.
Yep.
He proclaimed on May 13th, 2014, that the world had 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Well, 500 days from May 13th, 2014 is September 24th, 2015.
Okay.
The next day. It's going to happen as a result of a convergence of many events, including the restart of the CERN Large Hadron Collider. The conclusion that's the thing where they spin atoms and they crash into each other. And
okay.
The conclusion of the Jade Helm 15 project, a collision with Comet 67P, and President Obama meeting with the Pope at the White House.
Yeah.
So I was curious about this when I was reading this. Oh, it also lines up with the fourth of the blood moons, which many believe to be a sign of the end times. So with that, I went online and I said, well, where is this all coming from? And I found this sermon by a pastor that I guess he did earlier this year. Earlier this year, like July, like not that long ago. And he was a young man, and he was basically saying, this is not a prophecy because I'm not a prophet. However, there are 27 things that are converging in September and October. So if they're converging in October, then the world doesn't end on September 23rd. But I'm not being contrary. They are being contrary. I'm just kind of telling you what they're saying.
Well, they're like weathermen. You're 50% right.
No, Al Roker is doing a good job lately. We have been trying to get Al Roker on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
He has a new book out. What's his book called again?
I don't remember.
He's got a good book. He's got a new book. Only problem is he's so busy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so getting back to this. So here are the 27 events that will happen in September and October to show something big is coming. Whether you want to think it's the end of the world or not, these things are coming. Okay, I have to pronounce some of these words the best I can. There's something called SHEMITAH, Shemitah, maybe. There's a Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, a leading Israeli rabbi, asserts that the coming of the Messiah is imminent. So where Christians believe the Messiah showed up, 2,000-something years ago, and his name is Jesus, to this rabbi, the Messiah is coming soon. He says at the end of the sabbatical year, the Messiah is coming. Well, you and I, as Christians, believe the Messiah is coming back.
Right. Same person.
Same person in our religion, yes.
Exactly. Same entity.
This year is the sabbatical year, 2015.
Oh.
And it will be ending on the 29th day of Elul, E-L-U-L, which by the Gregorian calendar falls on Saturday, September 12th.
Okay, we'll have to ask Rabbi Hecht.
Saturday, September 12th, the day after your birthday.
That's right.
Is when that is. Okay, so that's...
Okay.
So if he says the coming of the Messiah is imminent, it'll fall at the end of the sabbatical year, and the sabbatical year will be ending on the 29th day of Elul, which falls on Saturday, September 12th, then there you go. If Jesus is coming back, maybe it is this month. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who am I to say? And then, and I started telling you about Shemitah, S-H-E-M-I-T-A-H. As soon as the Jews settled in the Holy Land, they began to count and observe 7-year cycles. This goes way back when, right?
Yeah.
Every cycle would culminate in a sabbatical year known as Shemitah, literally, which means to release. The year following the destruction of the Second Holy Temple was the first year of a 7-year sabbatical cycle. In the Jewish calendar, counting from creation, this was the year 3,829, which was 68, the year 68 on our calendar.
Okay.
Okay, so it was the year 3,829. By counting sevens from that point, we see that the next Shemitah year will be the year 5775 on the Jewish calendar, which, guess what? Starts September 25th of this year. Of last year, of 2014, and it runs through September 13th of this year.
Oh, okay.
So again, something happening that weekend, the weekend of the 12th and the 13th.
Yeah, that's the Six Gun Territory reunion.
That's the Six Gun Territory reunion.
That's what it is.
Yes.
They predicted that. That's what's going on.
It's important. The third thing that's coming in alignment here, Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, which we kind of already hinted at. The biblical name for the holiday is Yom Teruah, which literally means the day of shouting, the day of raising a noise, or the Feast of Trumpets.
Okay.
Trumpets. The day is said to be the anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, and their first actions toward the realization of humanity's role in God's world. Rosh Hashanah begins September 13th and ends September 15th of this year.
Yep.
And Rabbi Hecht said he's coming in to talk to us about it. I got to save this article.
September 11th.
And say to him, what do you know about this?
Okay. There you go.
The fourth thing that's happening, there are 27 things that are all coming together this month and next month. Anno Lucis, which means Year of the Light. This is a dating system used in Freemasonry ceremonial proceedings.
Oh. Freemasons
come into this story suddenly.
Oh, we need to ask Dr.
The date noted for that in the video that came with the article, which of course I can't show to you, is September 14th, 2015. So anyway, so Anno Lucis, the Year of the Light, according to the Freemasons, is September 14th. Again, something coming together at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Number 5. This is a very interesting thing. Is it? Are you finding it interesting?
I am finding it fascinating.
The UN Security Council is likely to be voting on a UN resolution which will establish a Palestinian state, which I think is a good thing. According to the linked article from Freedom Outpost, it is being reported that France will submit this resolution for a vote after the 70th session of the UN General Assembly, which begins September 15th. So the Palestinians might have a Palestine.
Wow.
They had a Palestine, and then Israel was formed in 1948. And of course, you can argue it goes back to 2,000 years ago, and we all know this story. And we all want peace in the world, and we want peace over there, and but anyway, so The UN, possibly on September 15th, might be voting to have a Palestinian state. All right, that's only 5 of 27. I have 22 more events that'll happen this month and next month to show something big is coming. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours, the high 89 to 93. Partly cloudy overnight, low 73 to 77. Times of sun and clouds tomorrow with an afternoon thunderstorm in the area, high 89 to 93. On Friday, partly sunny and very warm with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly in the afternoon, the high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs. Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy. Never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
All right, 12 minutes now before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning into The Source, WOCA. We are talking about some things that are happening this month and next month that are real things that are happening, and there are some folks out there that say this is all pointing to something big happening. I'm not telling you anything other than what I'm reading here, and the one thing that I started it with was this, I guess, speculation that the end of the world would be September 23rd. So, but that's kind of not the conclusion of all of these things. It's just saying there's a lot of stuff happening at once. So I've told you 5 of 27 things that are happening, and I have the 6th one. Before I tell you the 6th one, let me tell you about something that started on Wednesday, in the middle of July, like around the 15th. I can't remember the date. Starting Wednesday, middle of July, whatever the Wednesday in the middle of July was the 15th or whatever. U.S. Army Special Operations Command took point on a large-scale training exercise in Texas. Or if you believe some fringe outlets, they'll take point on the Pentagon's preparation for civil war. Jade Helm 15 is what they call it. Jade Helm 15, as the exercise is called, will run through September 15th and will involve conventional warfare involving Army special operators as well as representatives from the other services. It will focus on enhancing team-level elements' abilities to operate in unconventional warfare, well removed from company and battalion-level organization, and that all according to USA SOC spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Mark Lastoria.
Yeah, people are afraid Obama's going to take over the U.S.
The months leading up to Jade Helm were peppered with various conspiracy theories on fringe websites. The outrage even led to town hall meetings in Texas communities with Army representatives. Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to publicly assigning the Texas State Guard to keep an eye on Jade Helm. Abbott's office later downplayed the move, saying it fit with the Guard's advisory role in the state. Abbott also reaffirmed the state's history of support for the military, a reason the Army cited for choosing the state of Texas to conduct the exercise. However, the training is not only in Texas. It's
Right.
in 6 other states as well.
Yep.
Do you know this?
Yep, I've heard that.
Oh, you've heard this. Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida.
Oh, wow.
All right. So Jade Helm 15 is the 6th thing that's coming into converging with the other things, the other 26 things. It is this controversial exercise on U.S. soil, which began in the middle of July, July 15th.
Yep.
Scheduled to end September 15th. Where it got the name from is another day. We'll figure that out. I don't know. The 7th thing that is on this list of 27 things is the International Day of Peace, which is scheduled for September 21st, which is seen on the UN website. But the note included by Sealman, I'm not so sure who Sealman is, that's kind of a mysterious name,
It is.
highlighted the words peace and safety, where it highlights Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. Isn't that interesting? Which states, quote, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So some of these people are saying that this thing on September 21st, where they've highlighted the words peace and safety because of this passage from the Bible in Thessalonians 5:3. Also noted is that the Day of Atonement, also known as Yom Kippur, begins on September 22nd and ends on September 23rd.
Oh, okay. That's
The eighth thing of these 27 things, indicating that something big is happening. And again, you figure out what you want to, you come to your own conclusions. The final Jubilee year is 2015 through 2016. The final Jubilee will begin on the Day of Atonement in the fall of 2015, specifically September 23rd.
Well, that means that's when the rapture is going to start then, if it's the year of atonement.
Yeah.
Right, so the rapture should be
The 70 Jubilees clock began when the children of Israel entered Canaan, the land God had promised them. The 70 Jubilees clock will end when God's people enter heavenly Canaan, the land God has promised them. From earthly Canaan to heavenly Canaan is 70 Jubilees, and the last one is coming up.
Wow. That is...
And we've got a trip
Thought
scheduled for
provoking.
October 1st. This is not good.
No,
This is not
no,
looking
it's
good.
not. We've
9, number 9 of the 27 things. The Day of Arafat is September 22nd and 23rd. The Day of Arafat is an important observance which falls during the Islamic month of Hajj, H-A-J-J, the Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca. Just the 2 religions, 3 religions, all
It's like they're
religions
all
coming together.
converging. Yeah.
Number 10, the Islamic celebration of Eid al-Adha, also known as the Feast of Sacrifices, September 24th. This festival commemorates Ibrahim's willingness, we call him Abraham, right?
Yes.
To sacrifice his son to God. This festival also marks the end of the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca.
But God saved his son. He provided him with a sheep in the burning bush. So
We had a cow.
yes,
I don't know
we
if there's
did.
any significance in that.
Exactly.
Number 11, prophetic time cycle from Israel recapture, June 7th, 1967 to September 23rd, 2015. Somebody somewhere figured this out. Links explaining the importance of the time cycle are on the internet if you want to look them up. At the 4 hour and 15 minute mark in the video that is accompanying this article, you can see where there's an explanation as to the time cycle with the Day of Atonement and Yom Kippur.
Oh, my
Kind of
gosh.
over my head, that one. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's...
All right.
still
So we
coming
went from
together.
the Christian, we went to the Jewish, we went to the Muslim, we went to simply the UN, the Army. Now, number 12 is the Mayan calendar. We're back to this thing again. I thought we were done with the Mayan. The Mayan time cycle in years to days from September 11th to September 23rd is 5,126 days, and I think they mean September 11th, 2001.
Yeah, I think so.
So 5,126. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, number 13 on the list of 27 things that are converging this month and next month to indicate something big may be happening. CERN, C-E-R-N, hits full power September 23rd and 24th, which some in the scientific community have highlighted the possibility of opening parallel universes and extra dimensions.
Bizarro world.
Yeah. He also references sesame, where the phrase open sesame comes from and how it relates.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
So do you know what CERN is? Anybody need me to look that up?
No, I do.
You need to look it up? Okay, let me look it up, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure what it is. CERN is what it's called. CERN 2015. Wow. So CERN, September 23rd, 2015. It all comes up. CERN. Shocking evidence of something huge in September. CERN. Really? Wow.
That is fascinating. I love the time we're living in.
Yeah?
I really do.
I think I'd rather live in Little House on the Prairie. Okay, well, look it up, because it looks pretty complicated. I don't want to even try to explain it by reading it. All right. Number 14. The Madonna concert, specifically highlighting the desecration of the bride and the arrival of the fall angels in her September events. The importance of this event coincides with items 15 through 18, and I'm going to read them in a second, and about the Pope Francis apostolic tour. Really? So Madonna's in on this. Whatever. The 15th of 27 things, the Pope will be addressing the Congress, U.S. Congress, for the first time in history on September 24th.
Yeah, we had that in your news a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you broke that news.
Number 16, the Pope will be addressing the UN Assembly of World Leaders on September 25th. Number 17, the Pope will be holding Mass in Madison Square Garden on September 25th.
Now that is cool.
Number 18, the Pope will hold Mass at the Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Number 19, the French Prime Minister will meet with John Kerry to discuss the 500-day climate change limit in September.
Oh, gee. With everything going on, they're still...
Number 20, there's the Tomorrow World Festival, which is September 25th through the 27th, with the question of whether the Keys will open the gate for the Antichrist. Remember the CERN dates of full power and opening gates of portals. That's the CERN, this CERN thing, C-E-R-N.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So if we're opening the gates to a parallel universe, and somehow the open sesame thing, I don't know.
Well, maybe they're moving Fantasy Fest up a month. I don't know.
All right, that was number 20. I said there's 27. Let me see if I get them all in here.
This is fascinating.
Number 21 is the Feast of the Tabernacles, which runs from September 27th through October 5th. This festival looks back at the 40-year period of time when the Israelites lived in the wilderness of Sinai. During that time, the Hebrew people were isolated from the rest of the world in an almost millennial setting. They could see the presence of God dwelling in their midst. He covered them daily with his cloud, and at night he warmed them with his fiery presence. During their 40-year wilderness experience, their needs were taken care of. Neither their shoes nor their clothes wore out, and they were judged righteously in accordance to God's Torah by Moses and the judges. The Feast of Tabernacles also looks forward to the 1,000-year Messianic kingdom, when Yeshua, also known as Jesus, will be dwelling in and ruling from Jerusalem. It will be a time when all the nations learn of the great things that happen when people follow the ways of God of Israel. As a consequence, shalom, or peace, will spread out from the great city and will eventually encompass the whole world. Well, I can go for that.
Yeah, exactly. No more killings.
Number 22 of these 27 things. The fourth blood moon will occur on September 28th. This event has recently captivated the attention of the religious world. This teaching states that when 4 consecutive blood moons fall on Jewish feast days, a major event affecting the Jewish people will occur in close proximity to that time.
Oh, my.
Number 23. There has been an incredible amount of speculation of events beginning in September that will be a prelude to a total economic collapse, which makes this one a question mark, but with recent warnings from a variety of experts, including what's been going on with the U.S. dollar and the Chinese money.
Oh, my.
Number 24, Chinese president is going to visit America this month. Number 25, the importance of the number 24. chronicles the fact that China has called for a new world currency. Number 26, the parable of the fig tree explained in detail. And then number 27, the return of Mahdi. We'll be right back.
Attic Mall Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu as a search continues for 3 suspected cop killers, school canceled, businesses shuttered in a small northern Illinois community.
The sun is starting to come up. That should aid in the search, and patrols have been on the ground moving. We are at the Fox Lake Police Department where there is now a memorial growing. People have put up signs and balloons, and there is grief in this town, but it is mixed with anxiety because residents have seen this search going on. They know that there's a killer on the loose.
Joni Lum with Fox 32 News in Fox Lakes looking for the men.
Hundreds of officers from many jurisdictions, including the FBI, K-9 units, helicopters, and investigators on boats on the Fox Channel Lakes.
And in Baltimore today, the first court hearing set to begin for 6 officers charged in the case of Freddie Gray.